Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use the Ordinary Multipeptide Eye Serum. It can be used in the morning and the evening and should help us to reduce crow's feet, under-eye wrinkles, puffiness and dark circles. So let's see how to properly use it in a skincare routine. So let's have a look at the Ordinary Multipeptide Eye Serum and its conflicts. So as this serum contains peptide complexes that are sensitive to a low pH, or in other words an acidic environment, it is important to keep those points in mind when setting up your skincare routine at home. So you have your rinse-off products as well as your leave-on products. When it comes to the rinse-off products, I overall want to pick some popular products so that you can hopefully relate to them. So I'm talking about highly acidic cleansers that have an extreme low pH, where it can potentially lower the pH of the skin. And then once you're done with your cleansing step, you then would head into the application of your peptide eye serum that is going to interact with the low pH environment of the skin, and then you can potentially lose the benefits of the peptides, or in a worst case scenario come across sensitivity. The same would apply to exfoliating acid masks, as the Ordinary offers themselves, which you're going to leave on the skin for 10 minutes, and once you have rinsed it off, it has lowered the pH of the skin, and the same issue can arise right here. Now, when it comes to leave-on products, it's a bit different. So in general, it's best to keep them in separate routines, the ones that I'm about to list up, so that you're going to use one in the morning and the other one in the evening. So I want to give you an example with exfoliating acid toners or serums that you're going to leave on the skin. So those are non-rinse-off products. And when layering them on top of each other, they have more time to interact, so the risk of losing those benefits of the peptides is much greater, or causing sensitivity is much greater. Therefore, use one in the morning, the other one in the evening, or as with your exfoliating acid products, primarily AHAs, it's usually not advised to use it on the eye contour. So you could apply your exfoliant all over your face and neck, but leave out the eye contour and then use your multipeptide eye serum on the eye contour, so that you're going to layer them next to one another and not on top of each other. Same would apply to vitamin C products, primarily ascorbic acid products, as they are already quite acidic. So either use one in the morning, the other one in the evening, or layer them side by side instead of on top of one another. And you may have the same issue with azelaic acid, where it may or may not break down those benefits. And then lastly, which is not about the acidic part, but more so about how stable it's going to be, it is advised to not use the Ordinary resveratrol with ferulic acid in the same routine when using your peptide eye serum. And so there you have your conflicts that you should keep in mind when setting up your skincare routine. So let's look into an example morning and evening anti-aging skincare routine when using the Ordinary Multipeptide Eye Serum. And I want to keep my main focus towards the order of application. I took care of the conflicts, so if those example routines target your skin concerns and you want to recreate it at home, you can go ahead and do so. I have prepared for you, as always, everything in a PowerPoint, which, by the way, you can download in the description box down below. Now let's look into the morning skincare routine, which you can see right here. On the top, you can see a little box which basically describes what's going on the page. You have a brief explanation about the multipeptide eye serum, then the order of application, which you can see below, that you always should target your skin concerns as well as skin type with the products that you're going to choose. And don't forget your sunscreen throughout the day if you have sun exposure. So we are going to get started with, first of all, the cleansing step, making sure it's not an exfoliating acid cleanser to properly wash your face that's suitable for your skin type. Then you can head into the application of the multipeptide eye serum. Once that one has absorbed into the skin, you can move on to your favorite serum that targets your skin concerns. The ones that I have picked right here do not conflict with it, so you're good to go. And then if you still should feel the need, you can follow with a moisturizer afterwards. And then if you have sun exposure, don't forget your sunscreen as your last step. And below, you can see the overall general guide of how you would use the products, as well as how much you would need to use of them. Now, you can adjust them a bit based on the size of your face, but please overall do not overdo it, primarily with the treatments, otherwise it may cause sensitivity or layering issues. Then when it comes to the evening skincare routine, I've adjusted it a bit, so you can go ahead and wash your face with your regular cleanser. You may want to do a double cleanse or just use your oil or balm cleanser on its own, whatever your preference may be to properly wash your face. Then you can use the multipeptide eye serum on the eye contour. Then I have included a water-based hydrating serum to go over the order of application, that you should use that one before you're going to apply an unhydrated solution when keeping the main focus towards the ordinary products, such as, for example, their retinol. And then if you still should feel the need, then you can follow with your moisturizer as your last step. And remember, in the evening, there's no sunscreen needed. So this would be the setup that you can, if you like, to recreate at home. If you want to go over the treatments in your own time, you will find all that information in the PowerPoint below my example routines. So what cleansers I have picked, more about eye serum, then the specific face serums, overall treatments, moisturizer, and sunscreens. Then I also have a general skincare tips guide for you, such as how you can properly wash your face to avoid pilling, and then more on how you can properly layer the products, as well as a little sunscreen guide. So again, remember, it's in the PowerPoint in the description box down below. And so there you have the example routine that you can use if you like to. So let's get started with the application using the ordinary multipeptide eye serum. Now you can use that one on its own daily in the morning and or evening after your cleansing step, then before applying your moisturizer if you should feel the need, or before applying your sunscreen. Now what you have to keep in mind when using it along with other treatments is the conflicts. So I want to recreate my example evening skincare routine, which includes the cleansing step, the application of the eye serum, hydrating serum, retinol, and lastly, if still needed, a moisturizer. And so if you want to recreate that routine at home, if it targets your skin concerns, then go ahead and do so. So we are going to get started with the first step, which is washing your face using a non-exfoliating acid cleanser. So this can be a regular cleanser that's suitable for your skin type, or an oil or balm cleanser that you may want to use on its own, or you may want to do a double cleanse. So adjust it accordingly to your needs and preference. In this example, I'm going to use the ordinary squalane cleanser on its own. It's a balm cleanser, which has to be applied to dry skin, and then you're going to rinse it off using lukewarm water to warm water. So you're going to use about a coin size amount in the palm of your hand or fingertips, then warm it up until it turns into an oil, massage it all over for about 30 seconds to a minute, or up to 2 minutes if needed, if you're trying to remove stubborn sunscreen and or makeup, and then you're going to rinse it off. In between, especially when doing this above the sink, I highly recommend using a soft clean microfiber washcloth, in other words a makeup washcloth, which you're going to wet, squeeze it out, and then use it to remove any last traces of your cleanser, sunscreen, and or makeup, which are usually getting stuck around the hairline or even around your eyes. And then you're going to pat the skin dry. So let's go ahead and do this. And now you're going to rinse it off using lukewarm water to warm water. Now rinse again. And now it is important to take a clean towel and gently pat all over to remove the excess water drops from the skin surface. This helps that the next products that you're going to lay on the skin can properly absorb into the skin. They're not getting diluted or causes skincare pilling, and it also lowers the risk of experiencing sensitivity. So once you're done with your cleansing step, you now can move on to the application of the ordinary multipeptide eye serum. Now that one has a very watery texture, so the general guide that I recommend would be use between 1 to 2 drops. For me, 1 drop for both eye contours is enough. However, of course, depending on the size of your overall face as well as how dry your skin may be, you may want to increase it and use up to 2 drops. But I do not recommend using more than that. Place a drop on your fingertip, then rub your fingers together and then gently pat or tap it on the eye contour and then start gently blending it. You can blend it for as long as it needs to absorb into the skin, or just nicely blend it for a moment and then let it absorb into the skin. So there are 2 ways on how you can work with it. See what works best for you. Now keep in mind to apply it to the eye contour. You may also be able to use it along the brows, but please do not apply it to the eyelids, as it can potentially cause sensitivity or even get into your eyes. So, and once you have properly applied it to the skin, if needed, you now can still give it about 30 seconds to a minute to fully absorb into the skin before moving on to the next step. Now, when it comes to the next step, of course, this is an optional step. I want to include an hydrating serum. So I went with the ordinary hyaluronic acid. That one has a thicker, stickier texture. So my general guide is about 3 to 5 drops for your face and neck. Of course, if you just want to use it for your face, 3 drops can be enough. If you want to include your neck, well, then you can increase it up to 5 drops if needed. You should have enough product to blend it evenly all over, and then it should be able to fully absorb into the skin. It shouldn't sit on the skin's surface in a sense of a thick, sticky layer, because again, this can create layering issues as well as can feel uncomfortable on the skin. So you can place drops in the palm of your hand or fingertips or immediately to your face, whatever your preference may be. In this case, I'm going to now rub my hands together and then applying it all over my face and neck. So once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Same applies to the multi-peptide eye serum. Those are all leave-on products. So this is going to be my evening skincare routine. You're going to leave those products on for the entire night, and then the next morning when waking up, this is when you're going to wash your face again. So when it now comes to the next step, once your hyaluronic acid serum is fully absorbed into the skin, you can move on to your retinol product. Now, when looking into the ordinary retinols, they have different strength. I always recommend starting off with the lowest strength, and please keep the frequency in mind. Start off with 2 to 3 times per week and increase it if tolerated and needed. And when it comes to the amount, they are all in squalane except the guanactive retinoid and emulsion, but nonetheless, the general guide is about, or let's say what works best for me, is about using 4 drops for my face and neck. The more product you're going to use, the more it can cause sensitivity, because the skin can get overwhelmed with your retinol or guanactive retinoid, and it can feel uncomfortable on the skin, especially with the ones in squalane. They can then feel quite heavy and oily, so please do not overdo it. When doing the application, do not apply it on top of your eyelids, do not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth, or do not use it on top of your lips. And depending on the strength that you're using, like for example the 0.5% or 1%, I recommend being careful on the eye contour, because it easily can lead to irritation as the skin is quite thin and sensitive. Then rub your hands together and apply it evenly all over. Also, don't forget, with ordinary retinol products, put them in the fridge once you're done with the application. So, once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, since those are a bit richer, they can be a bit heavier, they need a bit more time to absorb into the skin. So I recommend giving it about 1 to 2 minutes in between before applying your moisturizer, if you plan to apply your moisturizer on top. The ones in squalane can already feel hydrating on their own, so the moisturizing step can be an optional step, but I still want to include it so that you can see the entire layering process. And so I'm going to use the Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors with hyaluronic acid, which is great for all skin types. And then with any moisturizer that you may have at home, use about a pea to a bean size amount and apply it evenly all over. So about that much, more or less, can be slightly adjusted depending on the size of your face and where you want to apply it. But then you're going to apply it on top of your treatments. So, and once you have applied your moisturizer, well then this is the last step that you can include in your evening skincare routine, and you're going to leave it on the skin and there's no need to wash it off. And so that's it. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did so, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more educational content, and I hopefully will see you soon in the next one. Until then, happy skincaring. Bye!